Hey everyone, welcome to the Fast Friday Facts for December the 4th, 2020. Appreciate you joining me today. And I also hope that you had a great Thanksgiving and you were able to get away from the routines that we have right now and you were able to enjoy some safe time with family members. Coming off Thanksgiving break, we were greeted with snow. So the transition between November and December was something. In a regular year, we would have been making a decision about school. Do we go or do we not? But in a virtual world, we were able to continue to roll on. So I know that we did have some students who were hopeful that we would cancel school when they saw the snow, but we didn't. We returned from break with snow on the ground and Google Meets rolling on. But it does bring up questions about the rest of the year and how we'll deal with students and school if we do have snow when we're back to in person. So I want to cover three things with you today that are all connected in one way or the other, but I'll save snow for a little bit later. First, let's touch base about in-person learning. As you know, we're finishing the next 2 weeks on virtual learning for everyone. Now, the governor's executive order did allow elementary schools to be in person next week if their incident rate was below 25. As you all know, our incident rate is not there, so we're not eligible to consider that. And since we can't do it next week, we've also said we won't be doing it the following week. But we do have hope of returning to in-person learning in January of 2021. So one of the things we indicated at the beginning of this school year was that parents and students would have an opportunity to switch from virtual to in-person before the third 9 weeks. Well, the second 9 weeks ends and the third 9 weeks begin after we return from Christmas break. Not immediately after we return from Christmas break, but a couple of weeks following. So next week, your schools will be letting you know how you can request a change to be scheduled for in-person learning once we're able to return to that. Some of you are wondering why we're even talking about in-person learning with the numbers that we currently have. And I think there are a couple of reasons for that. One is there's more and more support for getting students back in school, both at a national and a state level. And the other one is my second topic for today. It appears that a couple of vaccines are close to being approved and released. And yesterday the governor shared the rollout of the initial batch and suggested a second batch might not be too far behind. Well, this afternoon, Friday, December the 4th, superintendents from all districts will have a virtual call with the governor. We've been told it will be to hear about the time frame for vaccines for educators. For many, the vaccine is what will allow you to feel more comfortable with in-person learning. And while I can't predict the availability or the time frame of the vaccine, it does seem that they're closer than they have been in the past. So if you're a Garrett County employee watching this prior to that call this afternoon, I'll update you with anything I learn via an email later today. If you're watching after the meeting has been held, you may already have seen the update. If you're a parent or a guardian, if we learn something that impacts you or your child, we'll get that information to you as well. The invitation to the meeting did not indicate information about student vaccine availability, but we'll be listening just in case. And my third topic today then is tied to in-person learning and how it might be impacted with the vaccine once it's available. And that topic is the snow. How are we going to handle this year's snow events? First, anytime we're in an all-virtual instruction like we are now, nothing really changes if we have snow. We'll roll on. If, however, we've returned to in-person learning, for those who've selected it, we need to let you know what we'll be doing. Our plan is to turn any snow day that requires us to cancel in-person learning because of dangerous road conditions into a virtual day of instruction. In other words, we move into a day that's virtual for everyone. I believe everyone has learned how to move from one mode of instruction to the other, and if we can do that, we should be able to keep instruction flowing and not have snow days to make up at the end of the school year. While we'll keep instruction rolling that day, we will suspend our food service. If the roads are bad enough to cancel in-person learning, we'll not subject our food service staff to those roads either. Hopefully it's a one-day event and both in-person learning and food service resume the following day. I'm not suggesting it'll be super easy, but I hope it'll be worth the effort to keep learning occurring and to keep our calendar on track. However, there could be situations or circumstances that require us to have a full snow day where we don't have virtual instruction. And the best example I can think of is the ice storm of 2009. With an event like that and the loss of power, virtual instruction, like we've become accustomed to, wouldn't be possible. So our fingers are crossed that we don't get anything like that, but we need to be aware of the possibility. So, quick summary. Next week, pay attention for the selection of in-person learning in case you're interested in that. We'll update you on things that we learn about the vaccine, particularly as it relates to educators and if there's anything around students. And then snow days. We've given you a quick overview, but we'll have more detail about that as we get closer to being back to a regular, hopefully a regular environment of having in-person learning. So those three things. I want to welcome you back to this first week. I had the opportunity to visit almost 60 classrooms this week through Google Meets, and I appreciate the work that our staff is doing. And for the neat things I was able to hear from our students as they gave feedback about what was going on in their lives and in their experiences and in their learning. So again, thanks for joining today. Look forward to continuing to give you updates as we have those. Hope you have a great weekend.